What we're going to cover today are three pillars of Kodak lenses: influence of an iconic consumer brand, the Kodak lens technologies and designs that are available to you, and comprehensive EC support to help you with that effort. We all have heard at least of the Kodak brand. Even the newer generations are starting to jump on the bandwagon with it. It's nostalgic of what their parents might have mentioned. And lately, Kodak has been rejuvenating the brand, getting into other areas and other industries so that there's a little more visibility. The Kodak brand has been around for over 100 years. In a recent brand tracker report that Esler does on an annual basis, just last year, uh, the survey reported that Kodak lens is number 3 in awareness for the optical category. You can see it right there. The main thing is that for patients and ECPs, Kodak Progressives cover the main priorities, which are for presbyopes. There is insurance coverage. There's comfort in the viewing experience. They are covered by warranties. ECPs are recommending them, and they include lens technology. In a survey done in 2021 with eyeglass wearers, these are the top 5 priorities that these people surveyed brought up. So it's good for you to know that Kodak Progressives are relevant and cover the main priorities for patients. So everybody is aware of Kodak. In the movie theaters. We would see Kodak logo at the end. They've been around for, like I said, over 100 years in film, camera, digital printing. But what is not that well known is that in the last decade, Kodak has been creating partnerships across multiple industries. They have rejuvenated the brand. They are a progressive brand. They're into all kinds of sustainable and innovative areas: automotive antennas, aerial imagery, specialty chemicals, direct to garment inks. In their sustainable efforts, they are trying to replace all solvent and chemical based inks with water based inks, which is great to hear. Their coating services and technologies are used in auto adhesive, energy storage, medical, security, and their film technology is now digital. So now that we saw that the Kodak brand is still relevant today and it has value to it, we're going to talk about the designs that carry that brand. Just a very quick overview of the progressive design so that you can understand or better comprehend how our lens technologies help that progressive design. Very, very quick overview. We're all very much aware of the distance, intermediate, and near zones in a progressive design. We also know that compromises must be made when dealing with 3 different powers on the same lens. There is inherent aberration, and progressive designers of any brand position those unusable portions of the lens in the nasal and temporal side of the lens so that the viewer has a clear path from distance through intermediate and to near. Progressive designers also try to make the eye movements as natural as possible. When an individual is looking at distance, they are looking straight ahead using the top portion of the lens. As they move to read something at arm's length, reading material, they naturally move their eyes down and in. They converge to read that material up close. So all progressives follow this natural movement. It's all about providing a patient the most comfortable and effortless viewing experience. So with that in mind, we're going to proceed on to the lens technologies. These are the various technologies that are incorporated into KODAK lenses to help with that natural and comfortable viewing experience. We have consumer-facing videos for the main ones, which are Vision First Design, iSync, and dynamic reading optimization. I'm going to go ahead and show them to you. They are available for you to use with your customers that need a patient-facing video to explain the technologies. This is Vision First Design. We'll go into detail of what exactly the design does, but this is what the patient would experience. Okay, so let's now go into depth into Vision First Design. It provides a smooth gradation of power. We have at the top what a standard progressive lens would look like on a topographic map. You can see the hills and valleys that are created when a distance power transitions into the different near add power, and you can see how that aberration here on the sides would discourage a new presbyope from wearing them or seeing through the entire surface of the lens. So Vision First Design can take complete control of the curvature of that topography of the progressive lens, and it creates something similar to the bottom, which is a very drastic difference from what a standard lens looks like and what a lens with progressive with Vision First Design looks like. You can see it's going to be a much softer design, easier to adapt to. It includes binocular vision, so looking at these maps, it's very clear on the improvement on this progressive design. Any questions on that one? All of our KODAK Unique and KODAK Precise designs include Vision First Design. We saw, I tried to show you iSync. The main point is that we do race trace analysis, which you're probably familiar with when you learned the technology about wavefront. Ray trace analysis is something that's done for very different purposes. We use it for iSync technology. There are 4,000 meridian points on the lens for every add power, every index material out there. The trace has been made at all these points and saved in the database so that when the job comes into the lab, the software can pull up that file. It knows exactly how the vision is at every point on the lens. It then takes the PD measurement and the frame shape and size. It calculates or simulates how that eye will view through the optical center of the lens, which is the swoosh diagram up at the left, where you can see that the pupil center is aligning with the optical center of that lens for perfect vision. However, we all know that when the gaze angle changes, when a person is viewing the top or the bottom of the lens away from that optical center that is noted here with the blue triangle, then there is that oblique error that happens. So iSync calculates what that patient will see at any different point of the lens, and it corrects that aberration so that the same perfect vision that is being seen at the optical center on the very far left, it is as close as possible to that vision, regardless of what point of the lens that patient is gazing through. obviously in a progressive, it's in the distance, in the intermediate, and the near is where that correction is happening. In a single vision, it happens across the entire surface of the lens, so that even with high plus and high minus prescriptions, where normally that clear vision is reduced in the periphery, I think will make the entire surface of the lens usable. Here's a demonstration of a way that Pete Hanlon usually shows what an aberration looks like as the eye is looking away from that center. That right side grid is showing how vision is not lining up anymore, and that distortion happens. The latest technology is dynamic reading optimization. We've taken that concept of eye sync that in the Kodak Unique lens focuses on the distance, and we've now modified it to focus on the near. With the advent of digital devices becoming more and more prevalent in our daily life, it has become very apparent to all progressive lens designers that the reading distance needs improvement, needs to be as wide and comfortable as possible for that prolonged viewing at near. So dynamic reading optimization focuses on the near, and iSync focuses on the distance so that our Kodak Unique DRO lens has the best of all worlds in all three distances. And dynamic reading optimization is only found on lenses that include DRO in the name. iSync is only on all four of our unique designs: Unique, Unique HD, Unique DRO, and Unique DRO HD. Another technology that we use is variable decentration. What it does is it allows us to move the optical center of that lens wherever we need it to on the lens blank. So typically, depending on where that PD measurement of the patient is, in order to align that PD measurement to the physical optical center of the lens, you have to resort to a larger blank to align it. If that specific lens material that the patient wanted is not available in the lens blank size needed, you would have to tell the patient, sorry, we can't do it. Now, because we can move the optical center, we can use smaller lens blanks. It reduces the thickness of the lens. So you can see down here in the bottom, the orange versus the green. The result of using a different lens blank actually thinned the lens, reduced weight, and also expanded the availability of the lens materials available for that RX for that patient. The technologies on Kodak progressive lenses also allow us to move the point of reference in the reading power. We can move it further in or further out, depending on the reading distance measurement
This is a
of
vision
that patient.
sir.
This near reading distance is what allows the software to calculate if the convergence of a given patient is at the right point where the reading will be located for perfect vision in near. If it needs to move to the right or to the left, it will do that based on that near reading distance measurement. And taking into account, of course, the lens power, the back vertex distance, and the monocular PD. All of these are taken into account to know if we need to move that reading. HD customization is what we call what is called individualization, personalization. There are many names out in the industry for the point of wear or as worn measurements used for customizing an RX. Okay, so the measurements that are needed are the basic ones, which is the seg height measurement, the PD mark, the distance from the pupil to the bridge, which, like I said, these are standard measurements for any progressive. For the customization, we also require the back vertex distance, which is the measurement from the cornea to the back surface of the lens, and the pantoscopic tilt, which is the angle of tilt of how that frame sits on the patient's face. We also need the wrap angle to see how much of a curve will that lens have. Typically, sports or very high wrap fashion frames have the higher curves, but even if it's dress wear that's a little flatter, that extra measurement will allow the job to be as customized to that patient's viewing habits, their frame wearing habits, and anything that is needed for the best viewing experience. So in a nutshell, these are all the technologies that are used in our various KODAK lenses. Vision First Design is on our Precise and Unique. iSync is only on the Unique designs and in the digital single vision. Dynamic reading optimization, or DRO, are only on the Unique lenses that include DRO in the name. Variable decentration in all four of the Uniques, as well as variable inset. And HD customization is included in the lenses that include HD in the name. The point about letting you know about all the technologies that are in KODAK lenses is for you to feel comfortable knowing that whatever other technologies other brands have, we have them in ours as well. If you read what each technology, whatever that name is for that technology, look at the nugget of what exactly are they doing. And if you compare it to what our technologies are doing with KODAK, you'll see that we have very comparable, and any of the designs can easily switch from one brand to the other if we have the same technology. So what are those designs? We have our KODAK Unique DRO family. It comes with and without customization, or HD. We have our KODAK Unique with or without the HD customization component. We have our KODAK Precise family. It is available in a limited selection of the cast Precise. It is available in a lot more materials in the freeform Precise PB, and some materials in Precise Plus. Precise Short is a fixed corridor. It's for smaller lens frames. It is the Precise design in a shorter corridor for smaller frames, and is also available in a limited selection of the cast lenses and a wider selection of lens materials in the Precise Short PB, and some in the Precise Plus, which is in VSP category F. The Unique DRO and Unique have 6 corridor lengths, and the Precise and Precise Short have fixed 1 corridor lengths. KODAK Easy is one of our newest introductions last year when we discontinued KODAK Concise in our standard and entry-level categories of managed care. We introduced KODAK Easy. Concise was strictly a short corridor lens. KODAK Easy comes in 2 different corridor lengths. It comes in 18 millimeter and 14 millimeter minimum fitting heights, and it is replacing KODAK Concise in all of our entry-level managed care. This was brought up because the question comes up every now and then on what is the drop measurement for our KODAK progressives. Concise had a different one, but now with easy, precise, and unique, there are only designs available. They all have a 4 millimeter drop, so that when you're measuring the quarter length, if you start at the major reference point here, you need to add those 4 millimeters to reach the near quarter length right here. If you start at the plus sign, then it is a complete. So for instance, if you were choosing a 14 millimeter quarter, you would know that you would need to add 10 millimeters from the blue dot to reach the 14 with that 4 at the top. If you're measuring from the cross, it's 14 from the cross to that 14. We have a variable quarter selection chart that is very useful and practical when dispensers are trying to figure out which is the best quarter for their patient. If it is a regular frame, we obviously know instead of putting a PD mark that might be lost on the PowerPoint, we're using an eyeball. As long as the full circle of the near reading is within the frame wire, we know that we are giving the patient adequate reading. So with these bigger frames, pretty much all of the quarters will be usable. The 18 might be a little cut off, so then you would move to a 17 or a 16. On smaller frames, you definitely don't want to put a 16 millimeter corridor because you're cutting off all of the reading. So this is when this tool is very useful for the dispensers to put the frame on there and decide, select the best quarter for that patient, RX. The back side of that variable quarter selection chart includes a grid that will help the dispenser also know that for the fitting height, this is the patient's fitting height on the left-hand side. If they choose, for instance, if that PD came in at 16 and they choose a 14 millimeter corridor, which you probably wouldn't, it's telling you how many millimeters you are providing that patient of reading and how many millimeters of intermediate or transition zone you are giving that patient. This is useful when the dispenser asks the right lifestyle questions. It will let them know what you are offering and what is being sacrificed. For instance, if the patient needs ample intermediate, if intermediate is more important than the reading, then they would obviously move to one of the longer corridors here on the right. See how the transition zone is increasing as the reading is decreasing. And that's what they would choose. But you want to give them the right amount of viewing for both quarters, for both viewing zones, depending on what that patient uses the most. We also have non-progressive lenses. We have an enhanced or anti-fatigue single vision, similar to the Eisen concept. It has a power boost, and we call it KODAK Power Up Lens. It is available in 0.4 diopters, 0.66, and some of the PLG labs offer a 1 diopter boost on these. The KODAK software lens is our computer design near variable, and it is on some of the managed care plans. And we have KODAK Digital Single Vision, which is not a standard single vision. It includes iSync. So for those high plus and high minus prescriptions, you want to give them the best, which would be the digital single vision, so that their viewing isn't reduced on the periphery of that frame. Kodak lenses not only includes designs, they also include lens materials and anti-reflective coatings. Our Kodak Total Blue lens that I'm sure you've heard uh, about has been launched for a while now. It is a hybrid, a combination of specific lens materials and a 14-layer AR coating specifically designed to filter blue light from 380 to 440 millimeters. It blocks, within that range, it blocks up to 80% or more of that HEV blue light indoors and outdoors. We recently launched Kodak UV Blue. It's already very prominent in other countries. The US was the last country to launch it, and it offers a standard 20% blue light filtration, and it uses the Essilor Essential Blue lens blank. This is ideal for some of the patients who didn't like the blue AR reflection of the total blue. They can now add whatever AR they want on it. Does not come with an AR itself. It's, like I said, it's the Essential Blue lens blank. It's compatible with any Crizal coating or any other brand that is compatible with the Essential Blue lens blank. And we also have our own Kodak branded ARs, Kodak Clean and Clear lenses. It has optional backside UV protection, and it has optional silk, which is a super hydrophobic coating that is super slippery and helps make it easy to clean, more water repellent and smudge repellent than any of the other ARs we've had so far. And they are available at nearshore labs. So for any lab who cannot produce the clean and clear with silk on site, they are able to outsource to any of the nearshore ETO and ECO labs for Kodak Clean and Clear with silk. This is our complete portfolio, and you can pick and choose whichever one will help you with your ECPs. We can see here that the Uniques all have the 6 quarters to choose from and come with more material options, and obviously more technologies added to it. Then in the middle is our Precise family, and Easy as our introductory, with our non-progressives at the bottom. If you prefer a 2-step or a 2-lens offer for your ECPs, instead of bogging them down with an entire portfolio, we recommend these 2. You've seen this offer before. It remains the same. It is Kodak Unique Darrow at the top as a premium, Kodak Precise PB as a good entry level. They both have ample lens material options and are produced in all the PLG labs and a lot of the base labs, and are definitely able to outsource to any of the nearshore labs. Kodak Lenses is on managed care vision plans. We are in VSP in all categories. We are an IMED as well. With IMED recently moved this Precise PB. It's moving it to the 1 tier, I believe. We have to update this. We're at VBA, Davis Vision, Spectera, NVA, and UPMC, and then some of these lenses are also listed. So in summary, our Kodak Progressives, we have multiple quarters, we have traditional or freeform, we have optional HD customization, we have a computer lens, so an anti-fatigue single vision, and single vision lenses, all with the Kodak brand name. So what programs do we have to support your ECPs? We have Practice Plus. It's been around for over 20 years. It's 5 to 10 pairs of Kodak Progressives. The Precise and the Unique all get the 10 pair. Easy, since it came in the introductory price and introductory level, has $5 per pair as a rebate. 20 pairs in 60 days, 10 pair a month is the minimum. The monthly checks are paid by Signet Armorlight. For every claim redeemed, they'll go out in the next check in the next month. And we have bonus dollars for Doctor Alliance groups. These are the alliance groups that receive extra monies. The Unique receive $5 extra on all of these and $2 extra on all the Precise family. Vision Source is a little different. They get $5 on both Precise and Unique, but everybody else is 5 for Unique and 2 for Precise, on top of the $10 standard rebate. Any questions? We also have these packets for you to use. You might have seen them if your Kodak brand consultant has shared this with you for specific Esler price lists shown down here at the bottom, P804, P8301, and P809. If they sign up on these price lists, they get simplified pricing and the additional 5 and 2 alliance bonuses. One thing to note is that these extra bonuses and the $10 standard practice plus rebates are paid 100% from Signet Armorlight. They do not affect Esler Lab revenue and therefore do not affect your commissions. We have a very wide selection of Kodak Lens branded merchandising and patient materials. You might be familiar with some of these already. We have education and POS displays that you can just reach out to your Kodak Lens brand consultant or call our Kodak Lens hotline to find out how you can have one of these shipped to your ECPs. We have patient-facing materials, and we have for ECPs that are signed up on our Kodak Lens Smiles program, they can get complimentary window cleans. They can get customized materials, coupon books, mailers, anything they need to help their efforts. And we offer Kodak Lens dispensing tools. This is our variable quarter selection chart that I showed you previously. These are tools to help get those extra measurements. We have a fit kit pouch that includes the cutout charts for all of the designs. We have this very manual kit to take the back vertex distance, that wrap angle, and the pantoscopic tilt. We also have an app, Vision Studios, that some of our more prominent Kodak ECPs can get this app complimentary. It's compatible with an iPad. The ECP provides the iPad, and we give them the license for 5 years for the use of this app. We also have this toolkit that you might have seen on some of the regional or optometric organization uh, shows at the booth, that we usually raffle one off at every one of the regional shows, and we have a pupillometer. If you are trying to get one of your ECPs to try KODAK for the first time, reach out to your brand consultants and they can provide you with a form, um, so to see how they can earn a complimentary toolkit or pupillometer for that ECP. We have a limited number of literature on LitLink. If you just type in KODAK on the search bar, you'll see what we have on there. But we have a more wider selection on our own literature portal. It works very similar to LitLink. It has the same company behind it, the same infrastructure. It's called essaylitonline.com. You can sign in and create a login using the same LitLink login, so you don't have to remember a different one. And you can download any of the PDFs that are available there. You can have printed materials shipped to yourself or directly to your ECPs as needed. And there are also some digital elements that we've been building slowly. Some website banners and just images and that ECPs can add to their website or use in their social media. If they're trying to advertise KODAK lenses, they're on SA Lit Online. There is a tab where under patient materials where you or your ECP can log on, upload their address, phone number, their logo, and we will print complimentary eye exam recall cards. They print and ship completely free to their location. I know the majority of ECPs now have management systems, practice management systems that have email instead of the paper cards, but there are still some ECPs that still prefer to mail out those cards. So we have complimentary cards on our essaylitonline.com website that you can make use of or send your ECPs to make use of. So this concludes our training today. If there